Hi. Tonight's story begins in a relationship that looked ordinary from the outside, but had already been poisoned by quiet contempt. What started with small humiliations, class judgments, and a woman who mistook patience for weakness soon led to something far worse: betrayal, denial, and a public moment she never imagined would turn against her. Before we begin, a brief disclosure. The voices in this story were created with AI assistance, but the writing, structure, and direction are human. What follows is a fictionalized narrative inspired by relationship drama shared online. Enjoy the story.
My girlfriend denied knowing me to my face at a gala. She didn't know it was my gala. I, 28M, just ended a nearly 2-year relationship. Not with an argument, not with a text, but at an evening event where I stood less than 3 meters from her. And she looked me straight in the eye and told the man whose arm she was holding that I was just a neighbor who used to fix her electricity. He saw I was pretty and will not stop following me around. I didn't say anything. I just stood there because I wanted to see how far she would go. She went very far, but before I tell you about that night, I need you to understand who I am, who she is, and why I put up with it for as long as I did. I grew up with nothing. Not normal middle-class family, nothing. I mean, my mom worked double shifts. My dad died when I was young, and every semester's tuition had to be scraped together from 3 different sources. I got through college on scholarships, worked part-time jobs from freshman year, and spent 4 years rotating through the same 3 outfits. After graduating, I didn't take the conventional path. I started a business, failed, started another, nearly went bankrupt. Then things started clicking. By the time I met her, I was the chairman of a mid-sized conglomerate, not Forbes billionaire territory, but enough that I never need to check prices on a menu before ordering. But I didn't live like it. I still drove an old car, still wore plain clothes, still lived in a modest apartment, not because I was cheap, but because I had seen enough people change how they treated me the moment they smelled money. I wanted to find someone who saw me, not my bank balance. And I thought I had found her. Sophia, fake name, was the beauty queen of our university department. I had had a crush on her since sophomore year. Back then, I was the broke kid sitting in the back of the lecture hall, and she was the kind of person the entire department knew by name. I never had the nerve to say a word. 7 years later, we reconnected through a mutual friend. I was still dressing simply, still driving that old car, still not showing anything. She didn't recognize me at first. When she did, she laughed. "Oh, you are the guy who always sat in the corner, right?" I laughed. I wasn't offended because I knew that back then, I genuinely wasn't memorable. We started dating. At first, everything seemed fine, or at least I tried to believe it was. Sophia often asked what I did for work. I told her I ran a small business. She didn't probe further. I thought she didn't care about money. I was wrong. She didn't probe because she had already made up her mind. Based on my car, my clothes, my apartment, she had decided I was just okay. And from that conclusion, everything started to shift. Around month 4, I gave Sophia a handbag. Not designer, but quality. I picked it because I knew she liked that style. She opened it, looked at it, turned it over a few times, then asked, "Is this real?" I said it was real. She gave a slight smile, the kind I couldn't read at the time. Now I can. It was the smile that said, "Sure, whatever." The following week, I noticed the bag sitting in the corner of her closet, tag still on. She was carrying a different one, a gift from a friend, she said. I didn't say anything. Around the same time, Sophia started frequently mentioning going home to see family for the weekend. The reasons were always important guests visiting. Her parents needed to meet someone. Family matters to discuss. I didn't think much of it. Everyone has family, but she never once invited me along. I just want what is best for you. By month 6, Sophia started saying things more directly. Have you ever thought about getting a more stable job? A small business is fine, but do you have a bigger plan? A man without ambition is just. She never finished that sentence. But the way she trailed off said everything. I asked, "You think I have no ambition?" She softened immediately. "That is not what I meant. I care about our future, that is why I bring it up. Don't be so sensitive." That line, "don't be so sensitive." I heard it so many times I almost believed it. Almost thought, yeah, maybe I really am overreacting. Her mother reinforced it. The one time I met the woman, she looked me up and down and asked exactly 2 questions. "What do you do? And where do you live?" Then she turned to Sophia and said something in a voice she thought was quiet, but I heard every word of, You should reconsider. Sophia told me, that is just how my mom is. Don't take it personally. I didn't take it personally, I swallowed it. First time in front of her friends. We went to dinner with Sophia's friend group. One girl bragged about her boyfriend's new BMW. Another showed off photos from a 5-star resort trip her boyfriend had taken her on. Sophia sat quietly. Then when someone asked what does Sophia's boyfriend do, she said, he runs a small business. Nothing technically wrong with that sentence. But the way she said it, voice quieter than usual, eyes cast down, as though she were apologizing on my behalf, I understood. On the drive home, I was silent. Sophia was silent. Then she said, see, everyone else is working hard to move up, I asked. You are saying I am not. I didn't say that. But compare yourself. I compared, but my scorecard was different from hers. Second time direct comparison. By month 10, Sophia started mentioning Martin. Fake name, the boyfriend of her best friend. Martin was some kind of business development director, drove a Mercedes, regularly posted European vacation photos on Instagram. Martin just took Rosie to Italy. Those two are living the life. Martin just got promoted. Rosie will not stop bragging. I wish everyone had ambition like Martin. That last line she said while scrolling Instagram, not looking at me, as if it were a comment about the weather. But I heard the subtext loud and clear, you are not Martin. I still said nothing. Third time sweet, only when useful. Once, I casually mentioned a friend who worked in high-end real estate. Sophia had been lying on the couch scrolling her phone. She sat bolt upright, firing questions. Your friend. How do you know him? Could you introduce me? Her voice was completely different. Sweet, engaged. As if I had just said the most interesting thing all year. I looked at her, and for the first time I didn't see my girlfriend. I saw someone calculating. I said, let me see what I can do. Then I didn't follow through. And exactly 2 days later, Sophia was back to her default. You really should rethink your career. One evening, I went to pick Sophia up from work. She came out with a female colleague. She hadn't spotted me yet, and I overheard her mid-conversation. My family's been introducing me to people too. But I cannot shake this one off, he just clings. Her colleague asked, why don't you break up with him? He is obedient, easy to manage. I will get around to it. Then she saw me. Her expression shifted in under a second from relaxed to beaming. Babe, have you been waiting long? Just got here. On the drive home, she talked about work, laughed, joked, same as always. I drove, watched the road, and didn't hear a single word, because I was rearranging everything. The handbag collecting dust in the closet. The weekends going home for important guests. The don't be so sensitive. The sudden sweetness when she heard I knew someone useful. How many times Martin was mentioned. The way her mother looked at me like I was a backup plan her daughter was actively trying to replace. These weren't scattered fragments. They were a complete picture. I wasn't the person Sophia loved. I was the person Sophia was keeping until she found someone better. That night I went home and sat still for a long time. Not angry, not sad, not yet. Just clear. As if someone had switched on the lights in a room I had been walking through in the dark for 2 years. And I was seeing all the furniture for the first time. I didn't break up with her. Not yet. I wanted to see how far she would go. A lot of you are asking what happened next. The gala I mentioned at the top where she denied knowing me happened 2 weeks after that night. I will write the update once I sort through my thoughts. It is more than I expected. My company was hosting a launch event for a new project. Mid-scale, about 200 guests, mostly partners, investors, industry press, and senior personnel from the group. The kind of event where I would have to get on stage, give a speech, shake hands, and play the boss role. Something I normally dread but cannot avoid. I didn't invite Sophia. Not because I forgot, but because after the night I heard her call me clingy. I already knew where I stood in this relationship. I just hadn't decided how to end it. Life decided for me. She walked in around 8 p.m. I was chatting with a partner near the bar area when I saw Sophia. She was wearing a dress, more made up than usual, hair curled, and she was arm in arm with a man. That man was Evan, fake name the head of business development at my company. I knew Evan. He reported to me, but he had never met me outside of a work context, and I was certain he didn't know I was seeing Sophia. My company was large enough that the chairman and a department head don't eat at the same table. Sophia hadn't seen me. She was laughing, leaning in to talk to Evan, radiating in a way she had never radiated around me. I told the partner, "Excuse me, give me a minute." Then I stepped back into the corner and watched. She had said, going to the countryside to take care of Grandma 2 days earlier. Sophia had texted me, "I am going home with Mom this weekend. Grandma isn't feeling well. Don't call. The signal out there is bad," I had replied. "Sure, give Grandma my best." And now the woman whose grandmother was unwell was standing here, in a cocktail dress, arm in arm with my head of business development. At my company's launch event, I wasn't angry, or if I was, it was buried under something colder clarity. I stood watching for another 10 minutes. Sophia introduced herself to people at Evan's table. She laughed. She was confident, glowing. Evan pulled out a chair for her. She touched his shoulder as she sat down. That is not how someone behaves with just a friend. I decided to walk over, not to cause a scene, but because I wanted to hear what she would say when she was caught off guard. "Sophia," she turned, and I saw at the moment her face cycled through 3 states in under 2 seconds: shock, panic, and then control. She dropped Evan's arm immediately, but that was reflex, not remorse. "You, what are you doing here? I was about to ask you the same thing." Evan looked at me, then at Sophia. "You know, this guy." And this was the moment I watched her choose. Sophia looked at me, looked at Evan, looked around at the well-dressed people holding wine glasses, talking business, and she calculated. She chose Evan. No, he is an old neighbor. He used to come over and fix the electrical wiring at my parents' place. He saw I was pretty and just will not stop following me around. She said it in a light, casual, almost annoyed tone, as if I were a minor nuisance she had long grown used to. Evan looked at me with a mix of pity and irritation. "Hey man, do you need something?" I didn't look at Evan. I looked at Sophia, the neighbor who fixed the wiring. "Is that right? Don't make a scene here. This isn't your place." That last line, "this isn't your place," she said it with conviction. No tremor, no guilt, because she believed it. She genuinely believed I didn't belong here. I didn't respond. I turned and walked away, but not because I accepted it, because I knew what was about to happen. 15 minutes later, the MC called me to the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the board of MJ Corporation for the opening address." I walked onto the stage. 200 people applauded. The spotlight hit. The LED screen behind me displayed my name and title. I didn't look down at Sophia's table. I didn't need to. But someone sitting near VIP later told me. Sophia was holding a glass of wine, and when my name was announced, her hand shook. The wine tilted and spilled across the table. She didn't wipe it up. She just sat there, eyes fixed on the stage, mouth slightly open, as if she were trying to process an equation where every variable had just turned out wrong. Evan turned to Sophia, face drained of color. "You just said he was. The neighbor who fixed the wiring." Sophia didn't answer. I gave a 10-minute speech. Project vision, strategy, thanking partners, normal voice. Not a single word about Sophia. I didn't need to turn the gala into a stage for revenge. The gala did that on its own. After the speech, I stepped off stage, shook hands with partners, made conversation. Completely normal. Sophia found me. She cut through the crowd, eyes red, walking fast but trying not to run. "Babe, I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me?" I stopped and looked at her. There were people around, but no one standing close enough to hear. "Tell you what? That you are. Why did you hide it from me?" "I didn't hide anything. You never asked, but you, Sophia." I said her name in the most level voice I could manage. 5 minutes ago, you told the man you are seeing that I was the neighbor who fixed your wiring and will not stop stalking you. You said this isn't your place. You think that changes because you just found out who I am?" She went quiet. "Let me ask you this. If I really were just an electrician, would what you just said be okay?" She didn't answer. Her eyes started to glisten, but I had seen too many tears deployed at exactly the right moment to still believe them. "You weren't okay with me being poor. You are okay with me being rich. That is not love. Sophia, that is shopping." I walked away. She called after me. I didn't turn around. After the gala, I learned the part that actually hurt the most. It wasn't about her showing up with Evan. It was what was behind it. After the gala, Evan asked to see me on Monday, not about work. He requested a private meeting, face tense, voice straining for composure. "Sir, I am sorry. I genuinely didn't know Sophia was your girlfriend." I met her through someone connected to her family. They introduced us. I told Evan to sit down. How did they introduce her? Evan explained. About 3 months prior, Sophia's mother had reached out through a mutual acquaintance, saying her daughter was single, looking for someone serious, good family, stable career. The acquaintance introduced Evan. Evan met Sophia, liked her, and they started seeing each other. I asked her if she was seeing anyone. She said no. 3 months, meaning from around month 14 of our relationship, Sophia's family had been actively scouting replacement options for me. It wasn't Sophia freelancing. Her entire family was running a system, parents screening candidates, setting up introductions, arranging meetings while their daughter outwardly continued dating me. All those weekends going home to see important guests, I understood now. The important guests weren't relatives, they were applicants. Evan was the one who made it past the screening round. I didn't blame Evan. He didn't know. He was just another piece on the board, the piece selected to replace me. Evan, what happens between you and Sophia is none of my business. But I will say this honestly. If she was willing to deny 2 years with me in 3 seconds, you should ask yourself how long before she denies you. Evan sat in silence for a long time. Then he nodded. Sophia called 17 times in the first 3 days. I didn't pick up. The texts I read because I wanted to see which narrative she would choose. First, baby, I am sorry. I was in shock. I didn't mean it. Then, I know I was wrong. But you hid things from me too. That is not fair either. Then, you cannot just walk away like that. We need to talk. Then, you think I am about the money? I loved you before I knew who you were. That last one I read it over and over, because it was precisely the evidence for the opposite. She loved me when she thought I was poor, but what did that love look like? She mocked my car. She mocked my clothes. She was embarrassed to introduce me to her friends. She compared me to Martin. She called me clingy behind my back, and her entire family was quietly auditioning my replacement. That is not love. That is holding a place in line. Day 5. Sophia's mother called. She didn't apologize. She opened with, "Young man, what is done, but Sophia truly does care about you. Our family didn't know you were." She hesitated. "Someone like that." "Someone like what, madam?" Silence. "You mean if you had known from the start, you wouldn't have introduced Evan to Sophia?" "Don't say it like that, madam. I will ask directly. If I really were the man who drove the old car, wore plain clothes, and ran a small business, would you be making this phone call?" She didn't answer. I heard her breathing. Then she hung up. Day 8. Sophia came to the lobby of my company building. Reception called up. I told them to let her through. She walked into the meeting room, eyes swollen, dressed less, put together than usual. For the first time, she looked real. I know I don't deserve to be heard, but I am asking for one chance. I sat across from her, silent. She talked, a lot, about how she was afraid of being poor because her family had been poor, about how her mother pressured her to find someone respectable, about how she didn't hate me, she just couldn't see a future, about how she saw me now. That last line was the one I had been waiting for. "I see you now." "No. Sophia, you see the title now," she cried. I continued. "I wore old clothes, you mocked them. I gave you a gift, you assumed it was fake. I sat next to you, you were embarrassed. I clung to you, your words. Now you find out I am the chairman. And you cry, you show up, you say you see me. But what you see isn't me. It is the chair I am sitting in. That is not if that night I really had been just the electrician, would you be standing here?" Silence. That was the answer. Over the following week, everything rippled outward. Mutual friends found out. Sophia's friend group, the same people who had sat at that dinner table while she apologetically introduced me as runs a small business, went dead silent. One of them had me to apologize, said we didn't know. I didn't reply. Rosie, Sophia's best friend, the one who was always showing off, Martin, called me not to apologize, to ask if I knew of any openings for a management position, because Martin had just been fired. I hung up. Sophia's mother, through a mutual acquaintance, sent word asking if I could give Sophia another chance. The family is very supportive now. The family is very supportive now. Translated, we have re-reviewed your application. This time, you passed. Evan submitted a transfer request to another department. I approved it. Not because I held anything against him, but because he felt uncomfortable on his own. and I respected that. Sophia posted an Instagram story, a photo of the ocean, captioned, "Some things you don't know the value of until they are gone." I didn't like it, didn't view it, didn't block her, just unfollowed. Most people would think the worst moment was when she denied me, or when I found out her family was screening replacements. But no, the part that hurt the most was realizing, if that night I hadn't been the chairman, if I really had been just an ordinary man standing in that room, Sophia would never have cried. She would have gone home, told Evan about the weird electrician neighbor, and they would have laughed. She wasn't in pain over losing me. She was in pain over losing what I represented, and what I represented, the title, the money, the status, was never me now. I don't resent Sophia. Resentment is exhausting, and I have other things to do. But I learned something. The right person will not love me more just because they find out I am the chairman. They will love me the same whether I am driving the old car or the new one, whether I am wearing a t-shirt or a suit, whether I am sitting in the back of the lecture hall or standing on a stage. Sophia didn't love me. Sophia loved the feeling of winning, the status, the bragging rights a man could bring her. I just happened to become the person who had those things, but too late for her to realize, and too early for me to still care. I still drive the old car, still dress plainly, still don't show off. But I am not searching anymore. If the right person shows up, they will not need me to prove anything. And if no one shows up, I will be fine. I lived alone longer than I lived with Sophia, and those days didn't hurt as much. I didn't win everything. I lost 2 years, lost my trust in someone I once genuinely loved, and lost the naive belief that sincerity alone is enough. But I saw the truth clearly, and from that point on, I was no longer the person I used to be.